Hi, this is the second video on how to make a pinch pot and what to do with it, what your final pinch pot project might be. Last time we looked at these pinch pots and we made them round and even and smooth. We didn't make them like this. See, the cross section here is real narrow at the top and fat at the bottom. It's a bad idea in ceramics. Here's an extreme example somebody made. But what would happen to this when we fire it? Well, here's something someone made on the wheel, and you can see how thick it is on the bottom and how thin it is on the top, and it exploded in the firing. So we don't want to make things that are thick and thin because they won't survive when they fire. This part will heat up really slowly, and this part will heat up really fast. And so this will expand faster than that, and it'll break. So make sure when you do your pinch pot, or any project, it doesn't get real fat and real narrow, but it's all the same thickness. So if you cut any project in half, it should be pretty much the same all the way through. So once we made two pinch pots, we want to figure out how to put them together. So we can make something like this, like a little pinch pot creature. The other thing I want to talk about is once you do make something, you have different ways to design on it. A lot of you will start out and just draw stuff on it. Or maybe you'll begin to carve into it, but really we can carve quite a bit. We can make this a three-dimensional thing because it is a three-dimensional thing. So we want to make sure we design three ways. One, the overall form and the shape. Two, what the surface is. And then what's this edge going to be like? Not so important in this, but say you have a project like a coil pot. Look how we can make that edge nice and ripply and round. We don't just have to make it flat. Bottom's going to be flat, but it sits on the table. There's gravity. So we can start by making something like this, but we're going to put two pinch pots together and then slip and score them. So let's start. We have two pinch pots. One I'm going to flare out like that. Just make sure it's flared all the way out. And the other one we're going to flare in. Just all the way in, okay? That way when they fit together, they'll sandwich fairly nicely, okay? It's important when you attach clay to clay that has surface area really to grab and that we rough that surface area up. We have some tools that we're going to use. We have a tooth rib, we have a regular rib, this is just plastic and it's soft, and we have a stick tool. All these tools are extensions of our hands. One thing the rib tool does is it fits nicely here like this, so this surface is smooth. This one, I can just scratch stuff up, and this one I can use this to push things together, so that works really well. Okay, so I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to scratch it up. Yeah, scratch, 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 and that's going to make our clay have a lot more surface area to grab. I'm going to take this other piece and do the same thing, scratch it up really well. Now I'm going to take some slip, and slip is just wet clay with water in it that we get in the bucket where the clay sits and becomes clay again. So I'm going to take some of that out, and it's going to act like glue. Put that all the way around. The clay is pretty wet. You don't need a lot. The drier the clay is, the more you need. If it's leather soft, then you need more. If it's still wet like this is, you don't need a lot. So I'm going to put those two pieces together, just like that, and see this hangs over the edge. And then I'm going to take my thumb and push it together all the way around. Just like that, okay? And once you do that, once it's sealed, once it's nice and sealed, then you can take a wooden spoon and whoop, just hit it like that, and it's going to seal up. It's not going to smush because it's filled with air, okay, and then you just smooth it, okay? So once you have it like this, it's like this balloon of air, okay, and then you can hit it on the table to shape it or just use your hands, and we can make it any shape we want. If we want to make a box out of this, we just shape it, and then we can decorate the outside, and then when it's leather hard or leather soft, we can cut it in such a way that it would have a bottom and a top. I'm cutting it early because I just kind of want to show you. When you cut it, you want to make a key so that the top doesn't slide off. Okay, so now I see I've got a box. And what I do with this is I'd finish it up and I'd smooth the inside out. You can see where it's formed. And I'd also probably add a little clay on this for a tab so the top wouldn't slide off. Okay, and then I would add decorations. I would do all that probably before I cut it, but I just want to show you that it can be cut, okay? The other thing I can do then is make a creature. I can start taking this and molding, so I can mold like a nose or some eyes and make little ears, and so I can get sort of a creature. What I've done on this one then is I slipped and scored ears on, and I must make sure they're really well attached. Okay, and then I've got maybe a little piece of hair or something. You can be really elaborate. You want to make sure you have some design elements on the back too. So you have, because there's like 4 ways you can see this thing, right? There's the front, there's 2 sides and a back. So we'll be sure to add something on this because otherwise it's just not going to be very interesting, okay? When I'm done molding this and make it nice and finished, then I'm going to make sure I cut a hole in the bottom like that. Otherwise, air won't escape when it's in the fire. Okay, so we want to make sure we do that and make sure we write our name on the bottom. Okay, so that's what we do with 2 pinch pots together. See you next time.